Hi, and welcome to HUR at Home. I'm your host, Angela Stribling. And if you haven't heard about it, there is a new television show coming to WHUT, and you don't want to miss it. It's featuring local artists. And as you already know, so many amazing artists are right here in the DMV and have come out of the DMV. I mean, for ages. Marvin Gaye, Duke Ellington, the list goes on and on and on. Well, there's a whole new crop of amazing artists, and they're going to be featured on that television show. So we thought we'd bring you a few of these amazing artists tonight to just talk about it a little bit. And if you don't know them, you're going to know them after tonight. So ladies first, let's start with my girl. I just love her so much. Independent artist. She's been doing her thing for a while and she's got a lot going on. Put your hands together for Grammy nominated Carolyn Malachi. Oh, Carolyn, where are you?
Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's so great to see you, my friend. Looking good.
So are you, Angela. You always look stunning.
Oh, you're so sweet. You
Always.
just love me. That's why you say such sweet things. But thank
It's
you.
true. It's true.
Oh, you know what? There's another band that's going to be featured on DMV The Beat. And I had the great fortune, actually, I think the last time I saw you, Carolyn, it was a jazz festival that I was hosting and you were performing and they were performing. So the band is called Dupont Brass. So let's bring them on one by one, representing the entire band. We've got Jared Bailey, aka MK Zulu. Jared, hey.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. Good to see you again.
Good to be seen.
And all right, we're going to bring your partner on here, Joe Wilson. Everybody knows him as Joe Schmo. Hey, Joe.
Hey. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Oh, look at all this lighting. You guys look amazing.
Thank you, as do you.
Oh, thank you. Listen, for starters, congratulations on this new TV show. I'm so excited about it. And it's about time that there's a consistent format showing so much talent that's in the DMV, right? I mean, congratulations to you, for being on there. So that's going to kick off really soon. So, I guess I'll I'll just single you out for each of you to just talk about, what that means, just being on a show like that. So let's start with you, Joe Schmo, since I called you on last. I'll start with you.
I guess that's fair. Well, I've been playing piano for probably over 20 years at this point. It's about 4.5. And it's always been a dream to be able to, go on a show like DMV The Beat with Dupont Brass. Being that literally since high school, I've known most of the members. Jared was my drum major. And since then, it's just progressed and progressed. I've been performing pretty much since I was 16 years old. And now it's just like almost like a dream come true, just to see it all come together and to do it with people that I know and that have supported me from the very beginning. So it's definitely
beautiful.
amazing.
All right. How about you, MK Zulu? What are your thoughts?
I'm super excited for this entire thing. So glad to be a part of it. It's really special and full circle because we come from Howard. We started at Howard. Of course, Joe Schmo and I, we met in high school, but we really became a unit together in college. So to come back home and that be our first ever televised performance, in front of a live studio audience. So that's really, really something special for us.
It's very, very special. And I want to shout out those of you who are taking the time to comment. That's the only way we know that you're here. So thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Marcella. Thank you, Douglas. Oh, Douglas, Alexandria, Virginia said, love you guys and gals. Oh, thank you. Speaking of gals, one of my favorite gals, Carolyn Malachi. I mean, I'm happy that you're a part of this show as well. And you're, young as you are, you're an institution in the DMV. And
Wow.
talk about being on a show like this, DMV The Beat.
I'll be brief, but being on the show meant a lot to me. I think during the pandemic, I made a pretty firm decision to not perform anymore. I just kind of took account of some of the things I liked and really didn't like about the music industry. And one of them was sort of dealing with the challenges of doing gigs. And to be a woman in the industry, unfortunately, means you deal with a lot of ego.
Yeah.
And when I was asked to do DMV The Beat, I mean, it was HUT. So, of course, without question, I'm going to say yes, because those are my people. But the performance really, the show has really reignited my, I guess, zeal. I forgot what it
Good.
felt like to be in front of people and to have that experience and share music. So I'm very
Mm.
much back in the zone of performing, and I have
Oh.
DMV The Beat to thank for that.
You know, I love that you brought that up, and honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you were flirting with the idea of giving that up. But, I hear that from a lot of singers, and I get it. It is a tough industry. I'm a jazz singer, and, I know it's rough, and it's the passion and the love for the music that just keeps you going. But the industry itself, I mean, it can be so hard. But thank you. Thank you for that you try to get out and they pull you back in. I'm so happy. And, talk about that, all of you. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, just being able to perform, like on a TV show where it's not necessarily the same kind of thing that you've been doing where you're, at a concert, booking the gig and things like that. But this is a little bit different. So you want to talk about that?
Sure, I'll go first. The big difference for me was it's for like we've been in situations where it's a production. We've been a part of music videos and interviews and different things like that. But this was the first time where that production was combined with an actual live performance. So wait until the studio was ready to start performing, or just all the little different things that come with a live studio audience, and interacting with them, and making sure everyone is comfortable. So when the cameras pops on them, they're not looking crazy. Everyone's looking like we're having a good time. So that it was very interesting. It was new, but at the same time, it was something that we're used to, just not in that presentation in that form.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get that. I don't know if any of you remember, I used to host a TV show on BET Jazz when we had the 24-hour Jazz Network.
Uh-huh.
And, that was the very thing, artists, would get a chance to sit down with them just like I'm talking to you now and let everybody kind of know what you're about. It's kind of an introduction. People hear you on the radio or, buy your music, but they don't know you. They don't get a chance to hear your voice speaking about your career, where I'm so happy that this Black Music Month series is giving us as fans an opportunity to get to know you guys. So I love that you're talking about that. So
Absolutely.
Carolyn, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, first of all, I got interviewed by the John Mons.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my God.
Listening to for, I'll just, say quite a while. So that was really just a beautiful experience to meet him. He really, I mean, just was really a warm person to me.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But also, I'm on the cusp of releasing new music, and I'd never performed this new music before. So it was really just a treat and very, quite frankly, nerve wracking and challenging, because I invited a few folks who enthusiastically came to the studio, and they had never heard this music before. So to play it and to see them respond genuinely and just emphatically to the music was just, I mean, it really made me feel good. And I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to introduce this new music to the world.
Oh, that's beautiful. And congratulations on your new music. Yeah, it's beautiful. I got a chance to hear it a little bit. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So excited for you. Joe Schmo, we didn't forget about you. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I think one of the coolest things about it is just thinking of the juxtaposition of the beginning of Dupont Brass and the beginning of our careers. We literally were busking at a certain point, playing at the different corners of metro stations. And now, we show up and there's food on the table. There's people coming to see us. And, it really just, number one, I thank God. And then, we just thank each other, because this would not be possible if it weren't for the collective efforts of the group and the consistency there. So it's just really amazing to see just
Yeah.
everything come together, you know?
Oh my gosh. I mean, just the enormity of it, WHUT, that's a PBS television show. So people are seeing you not just in the DMV, but everywhere. So yeah, kudos to you. I mean, like you said, you were buskers, you start off and you've got this music in your soul and you just want to be a performer. You're not thinking about the business aspect of it, right? I mean, you're artists, you're all pure artists. So, not thinking about the negative side of the, music industry. And, Lord knows we've all got stories, but,
Yeah.
right. But, when you think about just the enormity of this moment and, Joe, just like you said, just thinking about from where you started out to where you are now, give us a sense of what that feeling is.
Well, like I said before, it's literally just one of those situations where number one, you thank God.
Yeah.
Like I would keep
Oh
saying
yeah.
that. You thank God for it. And then also it really just starts to make you step up,
Yeah.
It really just starts to make you think about what's next,
Yeah.
how to give a spectacular product to people. And then also in general, how to challenge each other, how to expect more, even just thinking about our group with Anthony. Anthony, he writes a lot of the music. So more recently, in the coming days, we've had Jared writing more music. I've written more music for the band as well, and even got me out of my comfort zone where I'd usually just call it out and say, okay, y'all play this real quick for me. And now it's like, well, I have music. So you guys are going to read the sheet music that I've written. And,
I love
we're
it.
going to go through the reference tracks. It's starting to step up and be and think more professional. And I think
Yeah.
that it's just really, really great to have that feeling that you're moving up and you're
Yeah.
progressing.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
I mean, he hit it right on the nail with what I was gonna say. As far as just, we're always thinking about what's next. You know, we were blessed to kind of have a business mindset starting off because we were playing to pay our bills. To graduate
Mm-hmm.
from Howard. So, we took that spirit and continued, and just always thinking, okay, we paid off our student loans, or we paid off our tuition bill. So what's next? So then we started actually performing as artists and not just on the street or
Yeah.
behind the scenes or for a private event. And then fast forwarding, we just did our first tour this year. Now we're like, what's next? How can we take that
Woo.
farther? Now we're
Yeah.
on TV. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's so exciting. What's next?
Yeah.
We're thinking about, how are we going to drop this new music? How are we going to
Yeah.
make it a moment that everyone can never forget? Because this is an unforgettable moment. This is our first time
Yeah.
on TV, and it's
Yeah.
only going up from here.
Oh my gosh, you guys are giving me goosepimples. I mean, just the enormity of all of it. And I keep saying that because I mean, it's a journey. It starts one place and you don't know. You start off hoping that things are going to click, but when you start seeing it, grow roots, it's got teeth and people are loving you and they're supporting you. And the more they hear you, the more they want you. It's got to be a good feeling. And I love that you all are sharing your stories. Carolyn?
Yeah, I mean, I think enormity is the right word. I see my cousin Howard is here. Hey, cousin Howard. But I saw him pop up and I thought about, the afternoons I'd be at Uncle Willie and Aunt Mary's house as a kid. And, maybe PBS would be on and we would get introduced to these artists. I mean, even in my own home, there were TV stations you could watch and there were TV stations you couldn't watch, but you
Right.
could always watch PBS.
Right.
You could always watch,
That's right.
maybe not the box, but you could always watch PBS. And just to be part of that, legacy of I feel like through this incredible platform, maybe there's another kid who's going to be at home after school with their auntie and uncle, and maybe they'll get to see this show and be introduced to our
Yeah.
music and become, fans or just music lovers, or just their interest will be piqued just by hearing and seeing us. So it's really incredible, and I'm quite grateful.
How about that? Because that is something that, you don't think about. But if we're being honest, when we were kids, I mean, we were highly impressionable. And there are things, like you just mentioned, Carolyn, that you'll never forget. I remember the first time I heard Sarah Vaughan sing and I was a kid. Oh my God, it impressed me for the rest of my life, where I don't know that she was thinking about it. She was just doing her thing, right? So I love it. Oh my gosh. So again, we haven't forgotten about the people who are commenting. Facebook user, they didn't put their name here, but they ask a question. During the COVID break, did any of you discover something musically that you now incorporate into your group? Anyone?
You let the lady go on this one. I feel like I've been going on.
It's okay. We don't have to do the gender norms thing here. It's all right with me.
My apologies.
No, it's cool.
2022. You gotta grow up. Right?
But I appreciate it. You can always hold the door open for me. I love it. But I discovered a funny thing. So my dining room I discovered is an amazing like reverb chamber because it's a large room.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean it's so reflective in there. So I took to just recording natural reverb in my house.
Nice.
And so one of the things that I did that made it onto this new record is a song called Flawed Logic that's on the album. I recorded some vocals, played them into the room through studio monitors, recorded that into an old Marantz like cassette tape recorder,
Oh.
played it back into the room to catch the reverb, and then recorded that with a ribbon mic. Ribbon mics are cool because they kind of hear the way our ears hear. And then I just added that as a texture on the song. So I just discovered the way my house sings to me, and it's been really cool to play with.
Wow.
Well, now, if people haven't figured it out, Carolyn does teach audio production. I mean, this is her thing. And yeah, I am here for all of it. Oh, so we want you all to answer that question, but I got to shout out Sean Plater. Sean is the general manager of WHUR and WHUT. And I'm so proud of you, Sean, for making this happen. This is so important. And he says, you're all amazing. Can't wait for the DMV to see these incredible performances. I'm with you there. Definitely with you. Yeah, that's good stuff. So Joe Schmo, anything during COVID that you discovered that you're incorporating into what you do?
Well, I discovered two major things that I used specifically in the band. Number one, I discovered that pretty much everything in my house can be used as an instrument. I was planning like this big party during COVID because, not a lot was happening. So I got a whole bunch of balloons. And so I liked the way that the balloon sounded when I rubbed on it. So I recorded that and I used my phone. And then I also recorded the balloon popping. And I actually put it together and I created a beat, which is going to be on our upcoming album called Some Days. And that's
what that is?
Yes, that is exactly what that is. It's a balloon. So
I love it.
And it's really been amazing. And then the second thing I discovered was just being able to sort of play with more deliberation. And I think that just came by just sitting in the chamber and just working out things, trying new things. And I think that even now I've learned that you got to play a little bit less, but mean a little bit more. And since I've started to take that approach, I've found that comping wise has been better. I think that the band feels a lot more supported and I can hear a lot more that's happening. And it sort of locks us in even more.
I love that. Oh, I love it.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, thank you. MK, did you want anything that you?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time. I wouldn't say necessarily it was all musically, but it had to do with the group, like really refining skills like behind the scenes, how to put together a video or any kind of content, because we had to get real visual because all of our in-person performances were, weren't happening at the moment.
Right.
Besides that, I really think just my work ethic, wrote a lot of music, just because, you just had the time, you were just sitting around.
Yeah.
So just really learning to tap into that and keep that on me, even though, we're back and we're busy, if I ever need to hide into a corner and write something really quickly, it's easier to flesh out.
I love it. I love it. I mean, and I love the fact that During COVID, a lot of people were just on vacation. They're, sitting around baking
Yeah.
bread, eating cookies, and didn't really do anything that productive. But, it sounds like all of you were shedding. You're like, let's make this time worthwhile. Oh, someone asked the question, what's your best feeling, your first album release, first concert or completion, or first studio album? Lots of questions. So yeah, whoever wants to answer any of those questions, go for it. And thank you guys for the questions.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So I can go first. My actual first album is called Revenge of the Smart Chicks.
I like
Now-
that.
Hey, I'm glad. My best memory from this project. By the way, it's a project. It's not available anywhere intentionally. Nobody has it.
Oh,
The earliest project available is Revenge of the Smart Chicks 2.
okay. The sequel.
But I remember one day I went to my dad's office and I don't know, I popped up on him at work and I go into his office and I see this like stack of burned CDs that all say Revenge of the Smart Chicks. My father had been burning my CDs for his coworker.
Oh my God, I love it. He's like, I'll get you one. I'll hook you up.
It's the worst sounding project ever. Like, I mean, mix wise, it's distorted. It's all the terrible things, but he was so proud of it. And for that reason, it's probably always going to be my favorite record just for that alone. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And you guys, your favorite or any of these other questions that you want to tackle?
I think my favorite out of all of those will probably have to be my first time in the studio. Because it really just showed me that I was born for this. I've been, spending a lot of time, rapping in my room and not really sharing with too many people or just writing stuff down. I would let people read it. But really, when I came to my father and was like, hey, I found this studio, because I'm like, I'm in middle school. Can you take me to the studio and, let me record and this, that, and the other? He was like, I don't know about this. So he was like, I want what you're going to do. So I rapped for him. He was like, whoa, okay, let's do it. So when we went, it was just feeling like, everything I'd practiced so much that I knew everything by heart. So, and even to this day, that's how I don't go to the studio unless it's like something that's really in me and a part of me. And I think that comes from my very first experience in the studio.
I love it. I love that. Joe Schmo, care to share?
Agreed. I'll say that I would say that the completion of my first personal album was something that really matured me to making music for Dupont, specifically because like when I had released it, this was during COVID. So literally everything, not only did I make pretty much all the beats myself, but I had to do a lot of reaching out to people. MK was also featured on the album, as well as a few other members of Dupont Brass. And with that, I started to think about writing and working towards making music for Dupont. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of that music and the responsibility of creating the music had fallen on Anthony prior. And so with that album, I really started to say, you know what, maybe I can do this for Dupont too. And in addition to Dupont being nominated for several Washington Area Music Awards and eventually winning, I myself was personally nominated twice. And that was amazing. I was like, that's incredible to see. And that really affirmed something in me and said, all right, well, you know what? I got to step it up for the brand too, because you need to eat.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love all these answers. I mean, and that's what keeps you going. Were you going to say something, Carolyn?
Joe Smo said we need to eat, and I said that part.
Okay,
exactly. We're gonna talk, Carolyn, because you're feeling it. You understand.
Yes. You know what? I mean, and again, as I said earlier, you guys, when I saw you all together, you were all at Fort Dupont. And so as Carolyn said, maybe it's a sign. Maybe, you guys need to collaborate. This is, we're going to give DMV the credit for you guys for your next project together.
Every time I see Carolyn, it's a sign. I take it as a sign,
Take it as
because
a sign.
yeah, she did a competition for one of her songs, "Beautiful Dreamer," and this was when I was still in college. So I was like asking people. I didn't have access to a studio. I was going all around Drew Hall, trying to find my friends who also record, and someone let me record it in the studio. I think it was ended up being in the Towers, and that's how I was able to submit, and I was a semi-finalist. So like
Wow.
that was a cool moment for me too. So every time I see Carolyn, I'm excited because like she helped inspire me, and I was still in college and all that stuff. So it's really cool.
Carolyn, did you know that? You did
I've
not
told her
know that.
before. It's okay.
Oh, she doesn't remember. Oh, that's so you're
You
about to
Grammy
make me
nominated. It's okay.
cry.
We got stuff going on, right?
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah.
It's like we officially have to do something now.
Yeah.
It's official. All right.
Wow.
Sean, we're going to take the credit. DMV the beat. Bringing you guys together. Oh, shout out to you, Odessa, and to Trey. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for writing. So, all right. I mean, this is so exciting. I'm so proud of all of you. And, there's another group that didn't make it on here tonight, but they're also a part of it, Serious Company. So, I just encourage everybody to check out DMV The Beat. It's going to be so dope. And it's the Black Music Month series, and all these brilliant artists are a part of it. I have a feeling this is just the beginning of something, really special. Is it Tree or Trez? I hope I'm not saying your name wrong, but can't wait to see DMV The Beat tomorrow on your 65. Okay, your 65-inch. Go ahead. We're coming over. Yes. Turn it up. Turn
I can
it
see it
all
from
the way
here.
up. Right. Oh my gosh. Well, I just love this. Any final words? Carolyn, shout out, to you again for having new music. I just want to go one by one, and you guys can just tell everybody your social media. Make sure that you check out DMV The Beat tomorrow. And but yeah, Carolyn, start. Let everybody know what you're up to and your social media.
Yes. So everybody, I'm very excited to announce finally have new music coming out. The first single is called Brunch, and it drops June 16th, June 17th. The album is called Counter Narratives. That'll be out in July. And you can find me on Instagram at Carolyn Malachi, or on Twitter at Carolyn_Malachi. Facebook is just Carolyn Malachi, or Malachi Music. I'm there. You'll find me.
Just Google her. You will find her. All right. MK, how about you?
Okay, so if you want to follow Dupont Brass, it's very easy. Our name, Dupont Brass. If you put that in Google, or if you're in Instagram or Facebook, will always pop up. It's kind of an interesting name. And then if you want to follow me personally, my name is MK Zulu Music. So my name and just music all together. And you'll find me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Also, Dupont Brass also has some new music that is coming out on the 21st. I won't hint at the name or anything like that, but it's going to be a song that is super exciting for everybody that they'll be able to enjoy. It's going to be a summer anthem for real. And but if you check in on DMV The Beat, you'll hear the song live before it even comes out. So make sure y'all check it out.
Nice. Joe Schmo?
Awesome. Well, since MK had pretty much did all the Dupont handle there, I'll tell you guys, you could follow me on Instagram. It's JEAUXSMEAUX. I'm always posting stuff on there. I have a few really cool stuff coming up, and between you and me, might not be the last time you see me on DMV The Beat in the next couple months. So,
all right. Oh, I love it. Stay tuned. The tease. All right. I'm so proud of DMV The Beat, WHUT, for making this happen. Again, I think it's just the beginning. What a way to kick off Black Music Month with you brilliant artists. Thank you for taking the time. I just love you guys. You already know that. And like I said, when you get together, Your host is ready. Just tell me where to show up. I got you.
Got
Thank you so much for being a part of HUR at Home. Thank you, everybody who took the time to watch. Those of you who took the time to comment, it's going to live on WHUR's Facebook page and YouTube page. And so if you didn't get a chance to comment tonight, you can always do it, but just make sure you support these amazing artists. So we've got Carolyn Malachi, we've got Dupont Brass, we've got Serious Company. Just look up WHUT and just, actually you need to be watching them all the time anyway, but make sure you support this particular show because that's the way you get shows on. That's the way you get them on. And with local artists, it's a great avenue for everybody to know what's going on. And as we said, so much great music coming right out of the DMV. Love you guys. Thank you for shouting at your social media. Remember, you can also follow WHUR-FM. That's at WHUR-FM on all platforms. Follow me too while you're at it, at Angela Stribling. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. DMV The Beat.